37-ish run about. Never know, man. Jimmy gonna do it. That defense shit, he can't move that fast. Every 38. Yeah, that's because there's still so many, like, up and coming. Like, it's just like the dude Williams from OKC, Jalen Williams for everything. Yeah. And those will be those. Yeah. Like, I mean, you still got John, you still got Zion to kick in. Yeah, you still got Portland. They're not Portland. You still got Zion from Detroit. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of incoming kids that we won't know. But I know these for sure. I mean, should be on there. Zion should be on there. 3 guards so far. No, no, John and Zion. Melo Ball right there. That's a Melo could be on there. That's a lot of guards. These are kids. You're not going to Melo get out. I'll put them on. We got 3. I mean, I'll put them on their court, but I'm just saying, if we're talking about definite, this group is definite. Like, they're not going to be a question with you. They're automatically on. All right, why wouldn't that be a definite? This ain't why. So we're trying to predict why I'll be in trouble. They can use it against them. Like, you know, they can. In 4 years? 4 years. 4 years. I mean, he will have to have 4 years of cleanliness for him to be on the team. Zion has to get 4 years of healthiness to be on the team. So this group right here is going to be on the team. No, I think he said they need to have 4 years of healthiness. But they do. They already been there. So we're going to both of the people already doing that. You just added Shannon and Paolo and Joe. That's all you added. So we don't think Tatum or Brown. No. Tatum? No. Mike. Who's the coach? Should be Spo. That's what it's looking like right now. I think Steve Kerr will not be coaching in 20. He might reconsider for Spo. I don't think if it's Steve again, I don't think he'll do it. You know, I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think I'm going to do it. No, Jay Brown's not getting money. They're going to have a conversation with him, but conversation for him to play the team. But they make him play. It's a Rudy rule. They make him play FIBA qualified. It's a Rudy rule him, right? They're going to Rudy rule him. They're going to do qualified. They play the qualified teams. So we can see how you look at it. They pull that shit with him. Who else got it? Jason Tatum, they're going to have the massage. What? And so, like, I think we're going to have, like, the Murray and things like that. We're going to have the defenders. Who's the defenders now? We're going to have, like, the Air Fox. I like that shit. I like that shit. They put the defenders. That shit look. That shit kept. We kept going down 14, 15 goddamn points in the defenders in the game. Why do they do that, bro? The Air Fox, can we get a majority? Because that's his day or night?
Free spin.
There's too many guards in front of them. You got to be, like, we're talking.
Free spin.
4 years? I'm just trying to go with 90%. Yeah. So the only two people that look like will be Shannon and Paolo. Those two look like no matter what's going on, they should make that team. And Jonathan, now moving in, you're gonna get a bigger role. So we got 3. So we got Paolo can play a 3 or 4, right? 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, and then we got 2 bigs, Dan and AD. What about like the Chad? I mean, check what? Chad is a 2 guard. Chad and Paolo can play 3, 4, 5. What about Brandon? That's what I said from everybody else. They got that. That's what everybody else got. We got to see what they look like in the next 4 years. If he that's what I think. Chad Jones, Scotty Barnes, Mobley, names like that. They're doing big for Evan Mobley. That is a possibility. But even Cooper Flag, if Cooper Flag is who they say he's supposed to be, he should be compete for that spot too. You know. But yeah, it's just such a predicament guys gonna be in 4 years. Man. Like we got a lot of 7 definitely that we. But that's not even drafted yet. That could be. Yeah. If we're looking at the 2028 squad, Devin Booker won a second gold medal this summer. Like Team USA plus minus. He'll be 31 years old in 2028. He'll have a much bigger role on that 2028 squad. But your Team USA gives D Book the keys in 2028. I think give him the key. What does that mean? Like what does that mean? What does that mean? Is it his team? Maybe they're part of the big thing. Like, where's the idea of give someone something? Yeah. Can you take the keys? Like, your play at the time dictates your role or what it's going to be, or your skill set at the time dictates that. Yeah. Like, they gave one keys all they wanted. People, everybody know Kevin Durant was the reason the motherfucker was going right. So, yes. No disrespect Captain America like that. No, I think he did what he was supposed to do, but Kevin Durant had to do scoring bursts and scoring, like, being efficient the way he is off the bench. Come on. If Kevin Durant was starting the whole time, it would have been a whole different thing. Yeah, whole different. Come on, man. Come on. No, but what are we talking about? I'm talking about that. No, what I'm saying is, we were starting, like you said, the step show with a few days ago. We were starting the team we started in the championship, the gold medal game. If we were starting that from the beginning, that wouldn't have been no close game. Like, why would we protect it? But we sitting here bringing in 15 minutes. It's the bullshit stuff don't play, and you're subbing out. That bullshit, you got the best 4 coming off the bench because he ain't been here 2 days. Like come on, that's you know, so it's much.
Get my 5 minutes.
4 years from now.
Taking that free money.
But he's going to do what we talked about before. You don't have to say it's going to be the end of the other team at no fucking point. But if he shows up, it's his mentality already when he got an invite. Like, I'm him. But he's going to do that way 4 years ago. Now think about what you're saying. If a coach goes in there and says, this is Booker team, but Ant-Man is the best player, do you see how the ruffle already starts? Because you're force-feeding some guy who probably is not playing the way he needs to be playing that time, but you already predicted this was going to happen. Now you got these guys playing well, and the team sees this is what we're going to follow when you're trying to tell them to follow this guy. Well, see, like everybody sacrifices a little bit of their game when they get to that Team USA squad. Some more than others. Who's going to sacrifice the least and still play consistently like they play the league? But then we're speculating that Jason Tatum's not right. But I think if they heard there, I think we're still the best player. If he goes to the best player, he gets. Yeah. So the first time I did, when it comes to one of those things, it's 4 years from now. Like anything can happen. They can be on the team. They can be. I mean, he can be playing and go to somebody. And, who knows? Hopefully they got 4 years to patch this shit up. And if they can, of course, but they didn't get ass by a lot of niggas. They go to the Olympics, go to the
fucking dumbass finger. Oh yes.
Gosh. But we don't take a defender instead of a Dennis Schroeder.
Right, give me a little break.
We don't sit Dennis Schroeder. So our Dennis Schroeder got to lead Dennis Schroeder in the league. He don't get to go to his team and be the man. But like you go to Drew League, right? You get the that's their receiver. They come off, they go that's who they get to be you isolation. I am. Whatever fucking I am. What is it? You remember what I'm saying? But they're especially they come off the bench and know they roll, they can get a lot of buttons like that. Get buttons. Because we would never seen a guy like that, like a hero. We would have seen a white score hero. That's what I'm saying. Especially in his field. Hero knows he's wrong to come in and score and get buttons, but we don't support that. We support somebody that come in and just play defense all day and block shots already. Yeah, that shit don't matter. But you know, they do shit like they do shit. Would you rather have KD coming off your bench? Now, everybody got the score coming off. You know the way they say they need somebody who put the team.
Wish I had something that just tap the screen for me.
Nigga, but you don't. because for the most part, if you look at how they play,
getting that free money.
Who's the worst defensive player on the team? On your list. Steph, right? Other than that, we don't know because everybody played well. Because the way the game is being played, those offensive guys who are offensively minded on their own team here can just spend all their energy defensively. And then on offense, we have pass ball around. So they're not even looking for their shot like that anyway. So your Booker, who averages 29, he became Derek White on Boston. Naturally. Because LeBron's there, so he's pump faking, passing. He ain't pump faking. That pass he made to KD, that was a layup. Yeah. But if you put Derek White in there, Derek White became a worser. That's the word version of himself. Because he's not one, he's not like in Boston, he's gonna take the shot that's open. Here he's not even thinking about that.
51.2.
Yeah, he's on 40. I'd rather take 100, make it 50, then 50, make it fucking 25. He's the fifth option at all times on the floor. Like, you put Jimmy Butler out there. If you took Jimmy Butler and said, all right, go out there. Jimmy Butler's gonna what? Defend his ass off. Go out there and do the little things. I'd rather have that because if we needed him offensively, we know what he can do. If we needed Derek White to go out there and give us 10 straight, it's possible. No, he has to give us 10 straight. Not motherfucking balling with mine and then he's buying stuff and then double 42 niggas. And he's like, we said, all right, get the ball. We know Jimmy Butler, right, could take us over the top. But he was sacrificing just to become a defensive player just for the betterment of the team. That's why I said I'm taking all my stars because I know for the betterment of the team, I know they're going to sacrifice. Because whoever the head honcho is on that team is going to sacrifice. That puts everybody just like when Kobe got there. Yeah, I'm going to put everybody in order. Yeah. If I'm only scoring 16, goddamn it, I'm going to let y'all know who's the man. Yeah. Like I'm defending, I'm doing this. If they put everybody in order on that one. But you said the squad that you guys picked a lot for is only a Broncos squad. But you also said they don't need a beat. So how much would it need help? Oh, still 50-50. Still got sold with you. You can still 50. 4 years. It all depends on how these players. I mean, they still got to develop. And some of these players develop into like just stars be good. But we're looking at right now in real time. That guy like Jalen Green, that version or something. Jalen Green, that was out there to go. Oh my God, John and Book. Be the check. You know what? I think this is gonna happen. I think FIBA for 2026. I think John Moran, Jalen Green, all them young boys are gonna be in. I think they're gonna see what y'all can do. I think they're gonna be on there too. So we'll get a real look at what. Oh yeah, we're really gonna play in the qualifier. Yeah, let's see what the young kids do. We go like that. Maybe Cooper Flag, all of them be in there 2026. But you start saying like the Josh Hart thing, all that shit with them. I think you put it in. This was good ass. Josh Hart guard me all day. Let him shoot. But that's the type of dude that all right, he just go out there and play defense a little bit. With him tripping back. Because I know, hey, if some shit popping off, and he got the ball in his hand. There we go. There we go. I'm talking about Josh Hart and White. Talking about taking off the chain, taking a little bit of rope. 24 spot, he was asked about playing on Team USA in 2028. And he said, quote, it was a tough personal experience on the court, but I'm not going to make any decision off emotions. If you ask me right now if I was going to play in 2028, this 4 years from now, I would have to take time to think about that. So I'm not going to make any decision based off this experience, whether I felt individually. And you also talked about the tension between Jalen Brown, Team USA, managing director Grant Hill said that Jalen Brown still be candidate. That's the question I'm just saying. Are you playing in the 2028? Yes. If I want to play and the answer was yes, then you just say hell yeah. Right? This right here is hell no. Right? It's already why he's my ass. The whole America out the kid my ass. I wish I would have
I hope they do get 2 reserves.
Yeah, I think I need some rest. Yeah, I need some rest. I need to show up. I said, no, see, but that's the plan. Y'all want me here? You said no? I said no. See you next year to see how y'all. That stand-up feels like a very long winded way to say. Yeah. That's their one right now. Would you be 2020? Right now, like when I got Andy playing in the World Cup team, he said, hell no. You start getting shit like this? Yeah, that's so fuck you. That's the only way you can have Congress. That's the you from Congress. That's the only way you can have Boston. That's the NBA answer right there. Hey, answer that nigga from Secret Service got that bitch getting real question asked about something wrong. Trump ain't like, what you mean you don't have to report what you don't know? Right?
Come on.
That's the guy that's like, man. Let's keep it moving. Never like you guys don't see you whenever in the same place. Don't you, bro? I didn't want to say.
I can't fathom being as late as a Michael without not
My diet before healthy looked like a T-bone 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning, a T-bone, 6 p.m. a ribeye. Like I don't be out here saying it, but like I just never wanted to drink. It's just something that didn't interest me. The greatest artist that God has ever existed that created is not working for him.
There's 7 rappers who perfectly embody the 7 deadly sins. However, there's another group of rappers who represent the very opposite values for 7 heavenly virtues. My name is Rashid, and this is the 7 deadly sins versus heavenly virtues as rappers. Starting off by comparing cardinal sin of pride versus humility. In the context of rap, pride is the excessive love for oneself, and there are few rappers in the game that embody pride more than Kanye West.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win.
I guess we'll never know.
When it comes to pride, there's a line between being confident and just egotistical.
I'm gonna be bigger than Walmart.
And Kanye is an artist that suffers greatly from this. And this extreme belief in oneself that Kanye has is the very reason why many fans of rap describe him as one of, if not, the most arrogant rappers in history due to his many prideful takes.
I want to say I'm the number one artist in the world right now. I want you to document this right here. What I'm saying right now. I am the number one human being in music. That means any person that's living or breathing is number 2.
Moments of outbursts,
Take a few steps back. You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Wayne.
and actions that put him front and center of controversy.
I've decided in 2020 to run for president.
But that's not all. Aside from believing that he is above his contemporaries in the game,
And it was like this unspoken word amongst the industry that somehow people felt like they could posture on me. But I'm Kanye West.
the most obvious way Kanye has shown his pride for the multiple times he's established himself as a hierarchy. What do I mean by that? Well, in the past, Kanye has literally referred to himself as the greatest creation of God.
The greatest artist that God has ever existed that created.
Even creating a song where he literally declares himself as a god. But wait, maybe this was a creative or artful choice by Kanye.
That
Or
nigga
is
is
he trying to make
sick.
headlines or exaggerate? Well, Kanye will tell you straight up that he truly believes he's God.
Just like that. When someone comes up and says something like, I'm a god, everybody says, who do you think they did? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
He even acted like Moses before.
This nigga is stupid. Yo, he is special,
On the
bro.
other hand, someone who has never once acted as anything more than who he is J. Cole. An artist that is almost unanimously acknowledged by the music industry as the most
He's
humble rapper
just
alive.
on
Before we
some
go into why J. Cole is humble, we have to define humility.
That's his
Humility is
problem.
opposite of pride. The context of rap, humble
Where
artists
is my remote? This remote is always running from me. Actually, I gotta go take a
So how is J. Cole
shower.
so humble?
I've been bugging. It's a whole day after. Alright, one more.
Family, we are back. Thank you guys for being
You
here.
two
What time
always
it
get
is?
me caught
We're
up.
top of the day up. So hit that thumbs up button if you can. Let me know where you're tapping into from. Tapping into from. Let me know where you're tapping in from. And let's get to it.
Oof. What's up?
Alright, so I got sent the link on IG. It said, hey, you should talk about this. Now, it's a person named Cap Chatfield, and he has a video titled Rapper Exposes His Pact with the Devil. Yeah. So I was interested in, oh wow, these were Chief P. Let's check it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
He
thank you.
made a pact with the devil to advance his music career. A lot of people think that this stuff is just conspiracy, just entertainment, just goofy storytelling of this. But you're gonna hear from this guy right here that this is real.
I was playing a crypto game that gave me free money.
Dude, let's let this rapper explain to us what exactly happened to him to take off.
Unless he initiates you. Now, this happened. I was fortunate in 66. Texas was before. I fully embraced the and I just thought it was okay, maybe it's just music. It's more music.
It's a very special testimony that we've been touching lives.
Then Stevenson definitely raised my young over the car. Young rapping DMX, LMG's, young put away.
You were influenced by that kind of music. I try to tell people how powerful music is. How did I grow up listening to certain kind of music and put me in certain kind of moods and maybe want to do certain things. But I also did music and was in music industry for years, so I know the impact that it has on people. People don't understand that there's a spirit in this music, attached to this music, and a lot of people get into things behind the scenes that they put.
There's energy in the music. When you're feeling mad, you put on angry music. When you want to be romantic, you don't put on angry music. You put on some romantic music. When you're feeling sad, you might put on some sad music. It is energy in the music. People don't understand how subconsciously programmed they are
Man,
through
this
music.
feels so.
Put into the music and then he uses the music.
If you don't think music is
Totally
spiritual,
letting
I
go.
want you to think of these two things. Number one, isn't it amazing how
Thank
it
you
doesn't
guys.
matter
Thank you.
like whether you want it or not? You hear music in the back, maybe you're at a party, maybe you're at a sporting event, maybe you're just walking through the mall. You hear some music in the background.
What's up?
All of a sudden you start moving your head. You start moving your body. You might not even like the song. You might not even know what lyrics you're agreeing
It's
with
spiritual.
by moving along with the song. But for whatever reason, if you're not aware of what you're doing, you start to begin to move and grow. This is when Oliver passed away, and that's the same cancer. Put that trauma in my heart. I'm actually on the news to murder somebody. This is when Oliver passed away, and that's the same cancer. Put that trauma in my heart, and I was full possessed.
Music industry, so I have to you went down around the things you experienced in that round. So who would you say you met first?
The streets at the time. First time I was leading the pack. This name was Triple X. That's the I say I'm first. It was the same school. He's lit up. He's on 5 to say I'm on 5 to say we told the ones to lead at the line. Actually, going to music at the time. I was going to the street, and I just thought it was okay. Maybe it's just music. It's more music. You know, Oliver passed away. I'm 5 to say I'm on 5 to say we told the ones to lead at the line. He uses those events as open doors to sink his teeth into, metaphorically speaking. So maybe that's going to speak to someone right now. You've gone through some serious traumatic stuff in your life, and you're wondering, like, I feel bad. My brother's up there looking on that flyer. Why do I always feel like there's just this dark presence in my life where I can't kick this out of me?
Amazing.
Just fly out of my mouth. See, I think the devil doesn't play fair.
I want you to take into the Lord. Ask God, even ask God in this moment. God, what are some things in my life that are undone?
And you know, I like to understand that that's the image that he's portraying. When we see this agenda there, then turns again, you know, that's the agenda. That ultimately that he wants to push back. He has a mark to it. His agenda is to turn you away, is to twist you into something else never meant to be. I'm not looking at the divine. I'm not looking at the I'm not looking at the people that are influenced to represent Satan and ultimately see those people in hell. If you never become God, it's the right show. We're watching, we're opening the portal.
That reminds me, what did he just say? Bro, that's what's so funny.
Here's the Satan and ultimately see those people in hell. If you never become God, this is the right show. No, this is the church. The music they're playing the doors. We're watching, we're opening the portal.
That reminds me, what did he just say? Bro, that's what's so funny. Here's what's interesting. There's in a lot of ways. But some people can carry away and make it all about the lights and the smoke and all that, and it just becomes about production. However, the devil only counterfeits what's truly God's. The devil only just a concert. This one experience for me. They're 100% right. It is a spiritual experience. With God, a manifesting encounter. Also, the opposite also happened in
he had all type of died. He had at the South Show where they were doing the mosh pits and all those people that died. There was a kid who even died. He had all type of imagery like horrors. A man going through a portal becoming a red like a demon, like his face at the back, like leading up to that show. And then that stuff happened. People were saying that it was human sacrifice.
There's always demonic stuff.
It's
It's all because you're attuned to it.
And all these entities are just
You're attracted to it. You talking?
People who understand this stuff is all spiritual. The spiritual realm is very real. But if there's a dark side, there's also a light side.
That's so crazy.
Pulled out of that darkness.
I wouldn't hurt you. I said, Lord, no.
Man, this is
Like they had changed.
why does this dude keep tagging me in this stuff? I'm gonna have to take him
was saying
over
how he
him
called
on
out to Jesus.
Instagram.
He made a declaration to Jesus. He said, God, if you're real, show yourself to me. I'm telling you. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what you've done. Way around. But I want to walk in power that you reserve.
We're gonna end it right there, y'all. A lot of people be thinking it's just games and jokes and this and that. And if it were, even like this ESTG thing, this man sits there and tell you about his soul, how he gave it away, how he sold it, he's gonna fall forever. And people are in comments talking about, y'all look too deep into stuff. Boy, they're telling us right in our faces. Like right there in our faces. It's real. Even in Chicago, they're talking about Turkey's gonna have a new sacrifice. Some dude named J Main that's he was an ops. He did so many things to really taunt the other side, even taunted the ones that they lost. So he's fraudulently pushing peace.
Man,
And it's really about to backfire on him because it's not genuine. He's not out. Just I don't know. It's not a genuine thing. So what's so crazy is Dirk reached out to him and put him in a song, this and that. So what Dirk is doing now is isolating him. And I really think it's a play. I do. I really think it's a play.
yeah,
And
so
what's
one
going on
of
is
those are
Dirk's
isolating
isolating him. But bro was fine with it. He said he told us his founding group or his homeboys like, yeah, I'm taking this out of my name, that out of my name, and this and that and this and that. And everybody's talking about Dirk's about to sacrifice you. So dudes like, oh, they don't just y'all sound crazy. So not too long after that, he gets to talking about, yeah, you're gonna be the first one I sacrifice. You're gonna be blah, 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 blah. It's real, y'all. I promise it is. I'm gonna put in a few clips of that for reference points, but just so you guys can check out what I'm talking about. Now,
Yeah, that's
here
what she was
is
trying to do. Is isolate
Tucker
me.
Carlson.
Yep. Set me
Speaking
up
about
that
the
way.
market. 1 second.
I get it.
Screen ready. Y'all know we don't have premium, so it's okay. All right, let's get it.
You want to run once again that year? J Main is you gonna sacrifice me for dirt? All this weird shit on my face, bro. Y'all sacrifice me on phone. Your ass is first to get sacrificed. When I say DMV and that, like I can go through a list on phone. Great, why y'all plan? Stop doing that. Motherfucker, yeah, what J Main gonna sacrifice the guys trying to on some funny shit, bro. Stop doing that, bro. We trying to rap, bro. Y'all really believe in that sacrifice shit? When motherfucker get on, y'all think dirt gonna make me sacrifice one of the FYDs, bro? That's why I remove FYD out my name. Is it different? Let me start down. We remove FYD. Is it different? Now niggas mad. Listen to this shit. I still got love out of that. But what I'm saying is, just do what? To put me in situations, folks, and then I got all this going on, and then it's like, they got to go. That's why I be name, Jeremiah. On the G, stop playing my name, bro. I'm not FYB, never been FYB. Come on, the rest of the thing, like DMVT, this show, know that. On the G, all FYB. You was a fucking movie on the G. You sit here and said, we ain't getting the message there. You said, you push the peace, not the truth. Is you not getting it? Let me fuck the right one. You be in the heavens, your head. Is you not getting it? A truth means no more. He said he's not pushing the truth, so he still won't what? Bro, we are 300 dead hours. Talking about we get back there, you know what I'm saying? We say credit. Putting it together on bro. Like, feed on me, going back and forth, formulate, putting it together on me, rebuilding your brain for. So for him to get on it, just say he built it on his own, bro, is crazy.
In a long clip, very interesting, very eye-opening. In this part specifically, John Rich begins to share with Tucker about the mark of the beast, which you read that. But when you see those scenes, I think that's one reason why this song is doing what it's doing, because to my knowledge, nobody's ever even approached this subject in the world of music or video. Amazing. So why is Revelation so hard for people to grasp, to read, to understand? So for thousands of years, Prophecies and Revelation and Daniel and other places seem like science fiction to people. They should understand how these things are possible. Including my own dad, who's been preaching since he was about 19. He's in his early 70s now. And he said, yeah, John, just never could understand how some of these things were possible. For instance, the mark of the beast. How is it possible, we would all say, that you can track every human being in the world and know where they are and how they get their money and where they spend their money? I mean, that's just impossible. And we said, oh no, they're tracking us right now. They know exactly where we spend our money and where we get our money. Because it says you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast. You can replace the word beast with system. Revelation says, oh yeah, you have the mark of people to buy or sell unless you bear the mark of the beast. I'll prove it to you right now. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13. Revelation 13, we'll go to the New King Jimmy. I would wonder, frankly, buy or sell, which is a big deal. Because if you can't buy groceries, you can't pay for gas, you can't pay your mortgage or your rent because of you not willing to bow down to the beast, how are you going to participate in the marketplace? How are you in the population? That they don't know where you spend your money, where you get your money. Reminds me of central bank digital currency. So these are the same people that I've been telling you about in my videos, from the World Economic Forum to, even what we're seeing with BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard buying the majority shares of over 8% of the S&P 500
I
companies.
appreciate you guys.
All of these entities are working
I'm not doing anything but trying to get this nut out my ass.
Hence the reason a few months ago, maybe a year ago, we were talking about all these financial platform owners, billionaires and CEOs, CFOs, Cash App dude, and more. Yeah. Cash App has made some changes too now.
What are we doing about?
My stomach jump.
But the Antichrist spirit is moving behind these globalist entities, and they are making way for the Antichrist and the world system with market abuse. This is happening. I'll tell you right now, by the way, you and I are actually funding this, whether we know it or not, with the purchases that we're making, because the reality is that we're buying from companies every single day that are either in partnership or completely owned by these people, by these elites. I want to share with you a quick thing, though, a project that me and my team are working on, or have been working on, that gives you an opportunity to switch your shop and fund these companies to buy things. You can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast, without the mark. Yes, John, the Apostle John, on some island 2,000 years ago said that. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so prior to technology showing up where it's at now in 2024, these things were impossible. How's that going to happen? That's a pretty specific call, though. It's very specific. Yeah, so now all the things that need to exist physically are all here now. So that prophecies that have been laid out could now physically manifest. And I don't know if that's going to be a day, or 100 years from now, or 1,000 years from now. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know this is a new era. So when you read Revelation, you read Daniel, and you read these other prophecies, it's now doesn't sound like science fiction anymore, because we see it every single day.
Now you guys can see what I do.
This is what I should do in the
here, listen to the podcast, and stretching my fucking back.
is real, first of all, and he's coming back to judge the earth.
So when you see me
That's what
done,
this is for.
when you see me doing anything good in life, successful, just know that I was right here doing this in front of you guys. And I was doing this 3 years before too.
It's real.
This is every day, all day.
It's real.
Oh,
Even
man, just trying to get my body
to the
loose.
point where
90% of the way. I'm sure of it.
The phone.
If I get this, I'm like 99%
The
of the
wallet,
way.
the location, you open it up, you gotta roll your head around so it gets every crevice of
It's
your
just my
face.
hip.
And what's so crazy with
There we
these,
go,
y'all?
activating
It even works in the dark.
There we
Yeah,
go. I got a
they
nice
say
thing
iPhones
now.
allegedly take,
Ooh,
I don't know how many pictures,
there
but
it is.
you can see it with certain
It's like
types of
flash.
cameras, even ring cameras.
This
You can
shit is
see the
ugly. It's a nasty
phone flashing. Like right now, it's flashing. Taking pictures right now.
Yeah, it always does that.
Trust
Put
me.
a black light on it, it's
Let me
always
know.
flashing.
If you've made it to this point, say I made it. And I
Go back, I know you said something.
These are the prophecies. It's now doesn't sound like science fiction anymore, because we see it every single day. It's only a matter of time. When we read this stuff, it's like this is what it should do in you, by the way. It should awaken you to the reality that Jesus Christ is real, first of all, and he's coming back to judge the earth. That's what this is for. The whole point of faith in God.
That's why your phone's already seen you, butt ass nigga, so you might as well go ahead and show everybody.
In preparation, get caught. Each you the word God. Go to my Bible studies.
Fuck it.
Listen, y'all, it's real.
Oh,
It's real. Even to the point where the reason I keep holding up the phone, the wallet, the location, you open it up, you gotta roll your head around so it gets every crevice of your face.
yep,
And what's so crazy with these, y'all? It even works in the dark.
yep.
Yeah, they say iPhones allegedly take, I don't know how many pictures, but you can see it with certain types of cameras, even ring cameras. You can see the phone flashing. Like right now, it's flashing.
Mm-hmm.
Taking pictures right now.
Yep.
Trust me. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, y'all.
Yep.
If you've made it to this point,
What
say I
better
made
way
it, and I
to
do
control
appreciate y'all
somebody
on
than to
that.
give them the technology and then tell them, oh yeah, or let them find out on their own, or to massage themselves into being comfortable with it when by the time they already have it, or too late, like now. So fuck it. Man,
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this little video I have for you 3 stories, all linked together by the Appalachian Trail, if you can believe that. We got a frightening stalker, an unsolved mystery, and a terrifying satanic killer in the woods. There's something so mysterious and spooky about the forests and the woods, and these 3 stories have that in spades. None of them will have you, running out the door to get your hiking boots on, I guarantee you. Please subscribe to see new crime videos every damn week. Now, let's give it a go.
how does it feel so locked up, man?
In May 2019, 4 hikers were going along the Appalachian Trail. This was in western regular Virginia in the George Washington and Jefferson National Forests.
That's
They
so
were setting up camp
crazy.
there
Look at
before
that.
that evening They were all
I mean, what
strangers
makes
to
you
each other,
like
or
an
have been.
Einstein?
But you know, they began bonding with each other, getting to know each other, and that night they were setting up camp together. And they would be linked together forever by what happened. See, as they had been hiking, they all had separately heard rumors of a strange and dangerous guy who'd been in the area. No one knew who he was or what his story was, just that he'd rather not bump into him if possible. They knew his name was Sovereign, which was this guy's trail name. When hiking the trail, everybody gets their own, trail name. That's what you're known by. You can't pick your own trail name. You have to be given it by like some habit you have. This guy, it appears, had picked Sovereign himself, and by how he was acting, nobody's been arguing with him. For example, of those four camping there that night, one was named Stronghold. Real name Ron Sanchez. Ron was a military veteran. He had done 3 tours in Iraq, and after returning from the last one, he would say he was in a very dark place. As a combat engineer, he had suffered some major injuries to his knees and his back, and he had witnessed some of his close friends getting hurt, even killed. He was discharged from the military in 2011 after 17 years, and he was diagnosed with PTSD and major depression. He was really going through the ringer. He found it hard to leave his apartment, he avoided people, and things were getting worse and worse until, big dogs, he found strength through walking. First, just down to the store, then going fishing. He met his girlfriend on a hike in Arkansas, and now in 2019, he was determined to undertake the Appalachian Trail. He wanted a solitude, and he needed a place to fish. And so, in January of that year, he set out on the southern end of the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. He actually ended up quitting, thrown into hell midway, but after a few weeks back home in Oklahoma, he was like, can't get out of my head, I need to get back there and finish this. He was a lad who saw things through
Superman.
He was feeling, for the first time in years, optimistic and hopeful.
John,
the things he'd been
I know
through
you are right
and
now.
healed. Another member.
No, I'm not tired. I'm just tired of this pain.
Kirby was from
That's
Canada,
it.
and she was calling her husband the entire time she was hiking by herself. She had just finished her master's thesis at
I'm
sea
gonna
level.
get this shit out of my back.
And, like Ron, she too was hiking back north, planning to make it all the way to Maine before returning home. She'd been hiking for a few months at this stage, but she actually ran into trouble just a few days earlier when a black bear stole all her food. And she too had been hearing reports about Sovereign stalking the area. See, these whispers hadn't passed amongst the hikers. They're all saying, hey, listen, good luck to you, but just be weird. It's like a really strange, weird guy out there. He seems, a bit cuckoo. Hikers would say he was a crazy bitch who was hissing at them, saying, he was going to kill them, asking if they wanted to die, randomly, and they fuck off machete. He was saying he's captain of a hit squad. Fair play. In fact, on May 10th, she'd been eating at a diner near the trail, and looking at the window, she saw him. Images of him had been circulating on hikers' groups on social media. She even wrote in the trail register of the diner, I totally just saw Sovereign heading northbound, from the window here. Beware, guys. Then, after she left that diner, just a couple of hours back in the trail, guess what? She met him. He was there with his dog, and Kirby, or Turk, as her trail name was. She would say she went full Canadian. She was just like the nicest person ever. She was showering him with compliments, just saying, you're just great, all that kind of stuff. Just making sure he, doesn't have any excuse to lose the rag. They parted ways, and then later, Kirby bumped into Ron, they started hiking together, and they met up with 2 other hikers. They decided to all camp together. They were sitting there shooting shit, telling good ones, and then stumbled into their camp. But he himself decided to camp nearby. He put dental floss all up around his camp. He was leaving his shit all over the place, and he was just there with his guitar, singing, acting, they would say, extremely unstable. Then, as they all retreated into their tents, he walked up to their camp, started circling it like a shark, trying to pour gasoline over their tents and burn them alive. It was around midnight.
Hold on, what?
Just there the entire his camp. He was leaving his shit all over the place, and he was just there with his guitar, singing, acting, they would say, extremely unstable. Then, as they all retreated into their tents, he walked up to their camp, started circling it like a shark, trying to pour gasoline over their tents and burn them alive.
I would have killed him.
It was around midnight with Sovereign just there the entire time, whispering into their
whooped
tents.
his ass right there, and his dog.
Time to go. They began packing up when Sovereign approached them with a machete.
Oh yeah, he's done.
At this point said,
I'm whooping his
they
ass.
booked it into the woods. But Ron, stronghold, he wasn't going to run. He tried to reason with them, but there's no talking with Crazy, and Sovereign began slashing and stabbing at Ron. Kirby was watching this part, like what Sovereign was doing.
Threw a big ass rocket at his
She began
fucking
sprinting through
head.
the woods, but as she was running, she could hear Sovereign chasing her, getting closer and closer. And eventually, Kirby decided she couldn't run anymore. She turned around to face him. She put her hands up to surrender when he jumped on top of her with a machete. Sovereign's real name was James Jordan. James grew up on Cape Cod in a very poor area. His dad died of an overdose when he was just 6 years old, and his mom was a heavy drinker. He had mental health issues from jumping the street, and crime was always a part of his life. He refused counseling, he would steal, he would destroy.
Oh,
He went between Vermont and Cape Cod, selling drugs, and eventually began pitching further afield, sleeping in the woods. though the arrests were never far away, usually related to his mental health, walking down the road naked, that kind of stuff.
This nigga.
Eventually, he ended up on the trail. He, in fact, had been arrested 2 weeks before this incident, after hikers reported the threats he was making. Police confiscated a 17-inch knife and charged him with drug and alcohol offenses, but he was released on probation after a week.
He goes by the name Sovereign on the trail. A report said he was slurring his words, carrying drugs, and also a 20-inch knife.
And he went back to the trail. A Facebook post just a few days before the incident shows he was not in great form. Just got free from my 7 years, got being scrambled. I'm the king of the get 'em squad. I got a clear haul past 7 hammers. Jay Gutter just touched down and got home. We were free and we're going to release every POW. They took from my state bid. Only say, okay, it just keeps going on and on and on. The 2 hikers who ran immediately, they were the ones who made it. They called 911 and they alerted the authorities about what had just happened here. The police, or a tactical team, they raced to the scene as quickly as they could, which was a 5-mile hike through the woods to get to the trail of where this had happened. Right, and as they were hiking, they came across another tent. Inside were 2 other campers who had heard what had just happened. They'd heard the screaming and the shouting and the people running, and they were terrified. As you can imagine, they were in there terrified, hearing blood-curdling screams in the middle of the night. They were too afraid to even leave their tents. The police went, checked on them. As I said, they were scared, but they were fine. The police then continued walking towards where
South Carolina.
As they did, they turned. They looked in the bush.
I'm just stretching my back out. I'm sorry, guys. I want this nasty
it was James Stewart. He had been
out of my
stalking
back.
these 2 people as well.
And I'm right there.
He was covered in blood, and he had a big knife in his hand. It was pretty incredible planning that the police showed up when they did. And James Stewart surrendered to the police.
30-year-old Jim Jordan now under arrest in Virginia after allegedly attacking a couple on the Appalachian Trail, stabbing the man to death.
We went up
Yes,
there,
Lord,
that's when we located the suspect and victim. He wisely just surrendered himself.
Ron sadly passed away. A man who had been through so much and was finally healing. It's no surprise he didn't run. He was nicknamed Stronghold after all. And Kirby, she made it. James had jumped on her, stabbing again and again. She would have more than 40 lacerations. Her face had been slashed to the bone. When she finally paused in the stabbing, Kirby, she played dead. He eventually got up and walked away. And Kirby, covered in blood, managed to get away from him in the night, blood gushing all over, holding her arm, which was barely hanging on. 10 months later, she completed the trail. As for James Jordan, he was later found not guilty by reason of insanity. He was committed to a psychiatric institution and won't see the light of day until the court agrees he is no longer a risk to society.
Which is never.
You know, it can be hard to track killers on the trail. It was kind of just like pure luck that the police actually bumped into James Stewart or Sovereign when they hit him, right before he was most likely going to attack other campers. But if you're not on the trail and you don't want to track, what would you use? Why, NordVPN, of course. NordVPN is the bee's knees. Do bees have knees? I have no idea. That's a weird ass saying. But you know what I do know is that Nord is great when it comes to researching the exact stories I'm telling right now. Literally, when researching this, I had to use NordVPN because guess what? This content is not available in your location. Nothing grinds my gears more, or it used to. I used a couple of different VPN providers before I got Nord, and since getting Nord, it's by far the best. And so I thought to myself, well, it doesn't get any better than this. With a VPN, I can rely on. I can access things from anywhere in the world, and guess what? No one can track me. But then, I can believe it. Just get there. Nord doesn't only just keep your location safe and secure, hiding your IP address. Nord also has incredible features like Nord MeshNet, where you can safely connect to any other device in the world. Or have a password manager, a data scanner, or Nord's threat protection that keeps you safe from any hackers, malicious websites, trackers, phishing, ransomware. Guess what? All that take a hike. Like the people in this story are doing. Nord's goal is to make the internet better than it is today, free from online threats, censorship, and surveillance, which is like ding, ding, ding. So become safer with a click by downloading NordVPN today. And if you use my special link, that is nordvpn.com/thatchapter, you can get an exclusive deal. Exclusive because guess what? Me and Nord were down at the water cooler to shoot a ship, and they told me it's just for you. They like you. If you get a 2-year plan, you get an extra 4 months for free on top. And it's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Nord is like your all-in-one keep-you-safe thing that keeps you safe online. So once again, please go to nordvpn.com/thatchapter to get a 2-year plan. And guess what? You get 4 months for free on top. Thank you so much to NordVPN for supporting that chapter. Now let's take a hike, literally, with our next story. On the morning of August 12th, 2011, a group of hikers were walking through hiking through the exact same forest Sovereign was. Yes, the George Washington and Jefferson National Forests. This was a fair bit away from that incident, but this would be no less shocking. See, a few miles into their trek, they stumbled across something half buried in the dirt. They noticed it first by the smell. The smell of decaying flesh. Getting closer, they saw what looked like a person, half buried in the undergrowth and the dirt. They called the police. It was determined to be the body of an adult male, and the medical examiner would later identify the body being that of Scott Lilly,
That's what I need
30
right
years of
there.
age, from South Bend, Indiana. They were able to
Out of
determine he
my
had been dead
bag.
for about
Yo,
12
wait a
days,
second.
give or take,
Tomorrow's
by the time
Friday
his half-buried body
already.
was found
Oh
by the
my
hikers.
god.
It would also be determined that Scott had been
I'm
murdered.
sure it's Friday already for you guys,
Asphyxiation
but
would be listed as the cause
man,
of death.
time be
Scott
flying.
was not an experienced hiker at all. He'd started the trail about 2 months before his body was discovered. Stonewall was his trail name, likely so, as Scott was a Civil
That's
War
why I get this
aficionado,
shit out now.
and so he was named after Stonewall Jackson, a commander of the Confederates. He'd been going south, wasn't intending to do the entire trail, from Maryland to the end of the trail in Georgia was as far as he wanted to go, but he never made it. He'd been there alone, and last he had been seen was on July 21st, near a mountain called the Priest, about 15, 16 miles from where his body was found. For Scott, this had been a journey of self-discovery, and also to visit some areas of importance during the war. But he ran into something along the way while he was out there alone. When his mom last spoke
It's probably that one from when I slipped in Japan. When I was in Thailand and I ran and I fucking feet went flying in the air. Bang! Right in front of 7-Eleven.
A trail handbook.
Getting so excited because I wanted something from 7-Eleven so bad.
Scavenging animals dug it up.
I remember that. I was
So
drunk
it's
as hell.
right
Not
now
drunk as hell,
asphyxiation
but
by suffocation, not asphyxiation by
oh
strangulation.
man, it just rained
Suffocation,
and I
somebody was
thought that
holding their hand over his nose and
it was
mouth. He
gonna be
couldn't breathe. It wasn't
it
strangling.
rain. It was the fire.
This is even a more slower way to kill someone.
The
Whoever
sprinkler.
did it, they must have been pretty strong. Maybe it's
Man,
off on him,
I
while he
ran
happened in the middle of the
and
night and just held him down until he died. He didn't have items on him, nothing like extreme body that you would be like, okay, oh that. Just some regular ass clothing, hiking stuff. He wasn't carrying gold bars or anything. He was known as a quiet, nice guy. As his body was found on federal land, the FBI took over the investigation from the start. And guess what? It's still kind of at the start. Dozens and dozens of interviews were performed. A $10,000 reward was offered for information leading to an arrest, but still the case remains unsolved. The FBI has said they are looking for these people in relation to the murder. All trail names.
Man, I
Mr.
missed
Coffee, White Wolf, Papa Smurf, Combat Gizmo, and Space Cadet. And the killer of Scott Lilly is still out there. In May 2008, 2 men were on a fishing trip in the, you guessed it, George Washington and Jefferson National Forests. I didn't even intentionally plan for all these stories to take place there. They just did. As I said at the start, we'll be running out the door to go there. That was Scott Johnston and Sean Farmer. They were chilling, having a good time, looking for a bigot. They both had been to this area many times. They were the 2 best friends. It was their alone time, just the lads. And so there they, going to spend a few days there doing their thing. Well, on May 6th, 2008, Scott Johnston, he was out fishing. Sean was back at the camp. And man, just happened to stumble across Scott. Hiker asked if he could join him. This hiker gave his name as Ricky Williams. It's just sort of interesting looking. He was described as gaunt, scraggly kind of looking. He looked like he'd been out, in the wild for a few days at this point. He was kind of like looking like shit. But he had a brand new expensive jacket on, brand new boots on. Scott and Sean felt odd about him. He seemed kind of weird. In fact, one of their thoughts was he's like some alcohol because we kicked out of this house.
No, he
but
took somebody's shit.
They on him, they're like, come on. Come out to ours.
You ever see somebody with some new shit on with a scruffy ass face looks like shit?
Sean, Scott, and
You know where they got
they
it
were
from.
going down some trout, listening to some music and shit.
Jacking the fuck
It
out of
was like
somebody.
moon had arisen when Ricky said, "Thanks so much for the meal. I'm going to head back to my own camp." He left Sean and Scott there, disappearing into the growing darkness around them. It was then a gunshot rang out, and Sean Farmer was shot in the face.
Damn.
Scott ran for the trees as soon as he realized he had a gunshot, and as he did, he realized that he'd been shot in the neck. Sean was shot again, this time in the chest, and he somehow managed to stumble to the nearest car, which was Scott's car. But he was silently followed the entire time by Ricky pointing the gun at him. Sean made it into his car and began driving, and Scott ran towards the road to meet the car. As he did, he was shot again in the back.
It's loosening
He managed to
up.
stumble onto the road. Sean stopped
This thing
and got in,
is
and they
really
both drove
amazing.
covered in blood and
I should have got this years
consciousness.
ago. Damn.
See, as they've been eating and having a good time with
Now I just
they had
relax.
no idea that 27
I'm so
years
sorry, you guys
earlier,
gotta
less
watch
than
this, or
less
want
than
to
a mile
watch
away,
this.
this
This
Ricky
feels so good.
had brutally murdered 2 people. Ricky's real name was Randall Smith. Randall Lee Smith was born in 1953, growing up in Harrisburg,
Now I know
Virginia,
why the hips-
raised by a mother who was
the hips
seemingly a
are
bit of an oddball. She never spoke with neighbors, dressed Randall in girls' clothing for some reason. Randall grew up a loner. Gee, wonder why. On weekends, though, he often took to the nearby Appalachian Trail. He was clearly more comfortable in the woods than he was fitting in with people, but when he did try and fit in with people, he was like, not very good at it. He quickly gained a reputation for just outlandish lies. Pure bullshit. He totally lies. People began calling him L.O.R. for lying Randall. He worked in various jobs, never for too long. He always returned to the Appalachian Trail. It was in 1981 that two hikers were on the trail near Harrisburg. In May, two 27-year-old social workers from Maine, Susan Ramsey and Robert Menford, decided to do the hike in an effort to raise money for a mental health charity. As Susan and Robert were going on the hike, they happened to bump into another hiker, female hiker, and the two of them were going along for a bit, having a great old time, when they had to split up. They told this other hiker, "We'll meet you at this area of the trail." But Robert and Susan, they never showed. This other hiker got worried, scared about them, contacted the authorities to report them missing. Police went out on the trail and began asking others, "Hey, have you seen these two people?" Except for one hiker who told the police that they'd seen them here near Wapiti Shelter, a little log structure. And they were with, this hiker said, quote, "a strange-looking man." So the police, they kept searching. They went to a nearby country store where hikers stopped up, and they were asking again, "Hey, have you these two hikers are missing? Anybody know who they are?"
I need one bad.
An employee told the police, "Oh yeah, there's a guy."
I need a chiropractor, really.
And he knows exactly what happened. They said
Well,
his
I'm
name
almost there.
was lying.
I got it. I
But
did
I mean, his name
myself.
was lying Randall. Was he breathing? Yeah. More hikers would come forward saying that they had seen Susan and Robert with a man acting, again, quote,
Tight ass muscles.
and so they went to Wapiti Shelter, and they found no sign of them there. They haven't been seen in almost 2 weeks by now. It was then they noticed something on the
body
ground between the
massage, full
floorboards.
body massages.
It looked like a substance. It was blood. It was Robert's blood, leaking between the floorboards of the shelter. Investigators found out, and about 30 yards away they found a pile of leaves, as if they were covering up something. Digging it up underneath was a sleeping bag, buried in the dirt. But the sleeping bag wasn't empty. Inside the sleeping bag was
That's the only
Susan.
time I was
This was a
loud.
crime scene. And the next day, almost right beside where Susan had been buried, they found another sleeping bag. Inside that was Robert. It would be determined that both Susan and Robert did in fact make it to Wapiti Shelter. They'd settled in for the night, had a big meal and some Bacardi rum. However, the festivities didn't last. Robert had been shot in the head. Susan had defensive wounds on her. She'd been beaten and stabbed to death.
That's so
Police
sad.
believed she also had been sexually assaulted. The bodies had been dragged out of the shelter and then buried in their sleeping bags. They'd been attacked while they slept. It was
That's
police
so
fingerprints
sad.
on a book. They found that the crime scene that led them to Randall Smith. In a previous job, he had to give the oath. When they went to his home in Harrisburg, they found it empty. But in his home, they found a note which said, "I've been kidnapped by these two killers, and he was going to be killed." It seemed like Randall probably knew the police were going to find him, and so he had left this note in his head to make it look like he also was a victim.
I could feel, I could like taste
Why
the
not?
pain.
He was
in
on the
my
run
mouth.
for about a month before police found him at a motel. Randall claimed to have amnesia, didn't know where or even who he was. He looked like he'd been
Ooh,
on the
you hear
trail
that?
the entire time.
It's moving something.
How they really
It's
nailed
running
him was
from
that
him.
Randall, when they
I
got
got
him and
you.
arrested him, Randall was covered in
Don't
smoke
you
bites
go.
and rashes from living out on the trail, and so they brought him to a hospital to get this treated. Randall had to sign his name. He signed it, Randall Lee Smith. Got him. Randall got a plea bargain. He pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 30 years.
I'm sorry.
Randall ended up serving
That shit
15
hurts.
years before he was
So
paroled.
good.
Model inmate position. And when he got out, he saw jobs around the place, still lying Randall about. He lied about having a girlfriend, that old one, and his work. He totally were lies. The lies were just endless for old Randall. In fact, even to this day, not a lot of people really know anything about him because you can't tell what's bullshit and what's real. He was pretty reclusive, but he still returned to the trail. Then, in the year 2008, his mom died. So, Randall packed up the house, packed up a bag, went out into the woods with his dog, and he was never seen by the people there again. Yeah, people started to notice they saw mail start piled outside his house, and they're like, "Jeez, where's old Randall?" Now, they all knew he was killed. But missing posters, they went up, word began to spread, even reaching the trail, but nobody knew where he was. That was until a few weeks later, when he stumbled upon Scott Johnston and Sean Farmer's fishing camp. Stumbled upon them carrying his .22 revolver. Scott and Sean managed to drive to the nearest camp. Bare, they were covered in blood from head to toe. Scott had to plug his neck with his finger.
And we were all sitting around the fire. He was sitting here, Sean was sitting here, and I was sitting right here. And then he got up, right here, walked around Sean, got to right here, pulled his dog, it was laying on the front. I said, he said, "Come on, boy, let's go." Bam, bam. And I jumped over Randy, went bam, shot me in the back. Literally, they shot me again. Before I ran on the way there. I ran back. I got down back behind here, and then I walked around and got all the way down to the road. And that shot picked me up down there about where
They managed to pound on a house's door where lights were coming on. 911 was called. Now, both Sean and Scott would survive. And at the scene, when the police and the EMTs and all that showed up, they asked for a description. Who had done this to you? And Sean couldn't talk because he had been shot in the face. Scott told them He was an older, gaunt-looking fella with white hair. Now, one of the occupants at the house, they had knocked
I
out.
would
He was
never
like,
go around that looking
ran
nasty
into his house,
motherfucker
found a picture,
anyway.
an old picture of Randall Smith, and was like,
He looks like a weirdo.
Scott said, I'm 100% sure that is the guy who tried to kill us. In the meantime, a state trooper was driving in the area hearing the reports of this attempted double homicide. As they were driving, they saw Scott's truck going in the opposite direction. That was the truck that had been left behind. Randall stole it. Upon seeing the police, Randall put the pedal down,
Randall,
emptied the gas
crazy.
tank, and he booked it. The state trooper whirled around,
Randall's
went after
sicko.
him. After driving just a couple of minutes, though, Randall, in the dark, heavily forested area, his truck went off the road. He blipped, and that was the end of the trick. The state trooper got up to him, said he will always remember the look in Randall Smith's eyes, just pure white, pure hatred. He was trying to reach for a gun, but he was upside down in the truck. He couldn't reach it. Randall was arrested and rushed to hospital. He remained there for 2 days until he was taken to jail, where 2 days after that, he died of natural causes.
Fucking old grumpy
What actually
ass
killed
man.
Randall is unknown. It's just listed as natural causes, but it's believed to have been related to the crash. So the Appalachian Trail killer was dead. But the police, they eventually found his stash in Men's, because he'd been there for months after leaving home. They actually stumbled across his stash because they were alerted to by 2 other hikers who heard him screaming and shouting after he failed to kill Scott and Sean. I guess he knew they were going to get away. At Randall's camp, they found his birth certificate, a police radio and scanner, glasses, women's underwear, and over 30 knives. They also found notes on occult incantations and cassette. The cassette was creepy as all shit. It featured a man and a woman chanting and moaning, with a theremin playing in the background. He had a lot of notes that related to Wiccan stuff, but like the dark side of Wiccan, and other notes about Aleister Crowley, satanic summoning, demonic shit. It's like he'd been trying to conjure something in the woods when he had left. And maybe the attempted murderers of Sean and Scott were part of this black magic, whatever he was trying to do, part of some ritual. He was out there for a long ass time. Who knows what he was really up to? Something that comes up again and again in these stories of hikers, going on the trail or really hiking anywhere, is that like in an into the wild kind of way, people are embarking on journeys of self-discovery. Like in the case of Ron Sanchez and Scott Lilly. Unfortunately, they really ended up discovering a violent murderer out there. Still out there, in Scott Lilly's case. So the lesson here is, sure, put on those boots and get out there. Just make sure that they are steel-toe cap hiking boots, so you can kick any monsters out there in the nuts. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It always means a lot to me that you're here. Hope you enjoyed this whole video. And the next one will be up in a couple of days. But until then, if you're looking for more, we're going to have a lot more, including the That Chapter podcast, which has a new episode. Me and Keith telling some weird ass stories out every Monday. But yeah, alright. Until then, please take care of
This
yourself.
man films his own shooting. Gotta be a Hartford. Like Bridgeport.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Unsolved. This is the complete explanation video of the ancient mysteries iceberg.
He said you gonna blow me? But you.
So you can watch the entire
Oh
series.
my god.
If you've already seen all the other episodes, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you haven't seen all the episodes, this video is perfect for you. Welcome and enjoy the ride. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching, and especially my patrons, Bean and Donald, who have been supporting me. If you're interested in becoming a patron, I'll leave a link down in the description below. It includes benefits.
Alright, I'm hanging up. I'm sorry. I love you.